time for Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero. When it comes to news on 95.1 FM, weather always comes first. The strongest portion of a brutal high-pressure system in the south will shift eastward. Dangerous heat will persist in Texas while expanding to include the lower Mississippi Valley and the Mid-South. An upper-level low in Canada is sending smoke from Canadian wildfires into the Great Lakes and the Mid-South, all the way to the Mid-Atlantic. Another system may produce strong thunderstorms in the upper Midwest. Closer to home, hot conditions are going to continue. We also continue to see chances for isolated storms with gusty winds and blowing dust being the primary hazards. We'll have another look at the weather following this news. Over the past few weeks, we at AlamogordoTownNews.com and Crazy Radio have received communications from the Democratic Party of Otero County, which we have posted on AlamogordoTownNews.com. The emails discuss the ongoing infighting, the actions of Matt Creselius, who is demanding access to a private residence in which he was not welcome, a message from the executive director explaining that the homeowner wishes would be respected, even going so far as to tell Creselius to not attend a certain meeting. When I contacted Creselius about this, he played dumb, claiming not to know anything about any emails, even though he himself replied to some of them in the chain. He also refused to go on the air to share his side of the story, calling this newscast a propaganda disinformation program. He also threw a thinly veiled threat by messaging, quote, "Put up or deal with the consequences of false statements," close quote. I responded with an invitation saying that if he should change his mind, send me a message or simply raise his hand. Propaganda disinformation. The Democratic Party of Otero County Chair Brianna Martinez sent out a letter stating in part, quote, "The email was sent from Sean Ward, Executive Director of DPNM, to Chair Martinez in order to assist Chair Martinez and Vice Chair Melton with the issues they both reported. It is beyond us why a Democrat would send this to the Republican-owned media and help them twist a story in order to harm DPOC and the organization's credibility," close quote. Interesting, since this company is owned by a Democrat, and I'm not a Republican, but I digress. It seems that this is nothing more than a false attempt at spinning the truth and to share an out-and-out lie about us. That is, unless they're referring to another entity receiving the emails and reporting, but I haven't seen or heard anyone else covering this train wreck. We have reported that there are multiple instances of DPOC issues that have escalated with police investigations. The letter Martinez sent out confirms as much, so thank you for that confirmation. This DPOC statement does not reflect well on the local party. It's not a good look, folks. What I see is infighting. I see bullying. I see demands. I hear of members not participating or even quitting. Unrest. Ongoing attacks on individuals targeted by the executive team. According to the emails, it's become so bad that Sean Ward, the executive director of the Democratic Party of New Mexico, will be attending all future meetings for the foreseeable future. I'm making the assumption that he's there to babysit to make sure people behave themselves. Do we cover news from the RPOC on a regular basis? Well, yes, because they engage us. But they also know we will criticize the party and individuals for any wrongdoing, and we've done so. We don't cover the Democratic Party of Otero County simply because they don't share anything that they're doing. No press releases, no interviews, nothing. Seems to me that the Democratic Party of Otero County is as transparent now as it was under Swanson. And by transparent, I mean opaque with the lights out. I reached out to Chairwoman Brianna Martinez to get a comment. The call was sent straight to voicemail. I left a message, but I'm willing to wager we don't hear back from the 21-year-old wunderkind. Speaking of the Republicans, they do have a big event happening tonight.
We've got Larry Marker, the gentleman heading up the referendum project. He'll be at our headquarters building at 6 p.m. to answer all of your questions and present a informative briefing on what the referendum project is, what its status is, the battles that they're facing, that they're expecting, what interactions they've had with the Secretary of State so far. It's going to be a highly informative meeting on the referendum project.
Vice Chair Josh Beasley speaking with Crazy Radio. That's tonight at 6 at the Republican Party of Otero County headquarters at Fairgrounds and White Sands. A Lincoln County commissioner is calling for an investigation into what caused the Chance fire on Friday the 23rd. That fire broke out near homes west of Ruidoso and burned around 10 acres. Commissioner John Crunk believes at least one person is responsible for starting that fire, ignoring the county's fire restrictions, and disregarding safety measures. If the commissioner is proven correct, he says he wants that person charged and held accountable for the cost of fighting that fire. Trail Life, which is a group similar to the Boy Scouts, is having an event coming up in Indiana to celebrate their 10th anniversary. We spoke with Jose Angel Garcia.
They're going to kind of show what's next. These 10 years, what we learned, what we're doing in improving the whole program, and how we can reach more boys. One of the main things that Trail Life is trying to do very hard is to find more churches that will be interested in hearing about Trail Life and kind of become a charter organization for the ministry and start to reach those boys that are we need to rescue them with everything that's going on. And also at the same time, reach out men in the church and reach out the families and also reach out the community with whatever they need. So we can reach out the men that are going to be the future leaders of our families and future leaders in our city and the country. Then we need to reach them now before we lose them.
For more information, you can contact Garcia at 754-245-0389. The village of Ruidoso has shared a Sierra Blanca Regional Airport update, and that is crews have completed the construction on runway 0624 and taxiway Alpha. Both are now open. Runway 1230 and taxiway Bravo are still under repair. Well, today is Thursday. Let's check in with our good friend, Pastor Warren Robinson.
Being a good neighbor. When you share your time and your possessions with someone next to you, you're being a good neighbor. Be friendly, but respect their space. Watch what you say over the fence. Be a good listener. Respect sleeping hours between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. Try to be positive and try to be cheerful. Provide meals when there's an illness, a birth, a death, or a crisis. Watch their property when they are at home. Volunteer to pick up their mail, water their plants, or feed pets when they are away. Help out when they are working on a big project. Remember them at Christmas. And most of all, treat them as you would like to be treated. From Tammy Stevens, mother of 3. This is Warren Robinson with the Inspirational Moment.
News from around the state in just a few moments. You're listening to Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
Of Commerce today to sponsor our guest speaker, breakfast and lunch, golf handbag, and more. Golfers. Call Desert Lakes at 575-439-0290 to secure your spot in the 4-man scramble best ball tournament. See you on the green.
Directory Plus is the right size book. It's the book if you need a phone book.
That's what just one person has to say about Directory Plus. With its red cover, features, colorful yellow pages, and lots more, it's no wonder people all over use Directory Plus.
It has so much more information. You can cross-check phone numbers or addresses or pretty much anything.
Look on the plus side, Directory Plus.
I'm a big fan of Directory Plus.
A New Mexico Sheriff's Office patrolling its Facebook comments section has led to a lawsuit over free speech. A Santa Fe woman is suing the County of Santa Fe Board of Commissioners after she was blocked from commenting on the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. In a Facebook post celebrating sheriff's deputies last month, Santa Fe resident Marjorie Albiller posted some links criticizing the sheriff's work in serving evictions. Those comments were deleted, and she was then reportedly blocked. Albiller was evicted earlier this year from a Santa Fe home. Then in March, the sheriff's office charged her with breaking into the home. Those charges have since been dropped. Albiller is suing the county, claiming a violation of the New Mexico Civil Rights Act. The lawsuit aims to get Albiller unblocked from the sheriff's Facebook page and a payout for damages. Neither the sheriff nor the county commissioners would comment on this lawsuit. Virgin Galactic's first commercial space flight is set to launch from Spaceport America today. The crew is going to be made up of members from the Italian Air Force and the National Research Council of Italy, joined by Colin Bennett, an astronaut instructor with Virgin Galactic. The mission objectives for the 90-minute flight include conducting 13 human-tended and autonomous experiments which examine biomedicine, thermofluid dynamics, and the development of innovative and sustainable materials in microgravity conditions. The crew will also be collecting data through wearable payloads and sensors, as well as by autonomous payloads mounted in the cabin on the spacecraft's payload rack system. The city of Santa Fe leaders say the pride flag on the plaza has been vandalized. Santa Fe City Manager John Blair spoke with KOB.
The flag went down on the plaza. It was instantly joyous for people. You immediately saw people coming up, taking pictures of themselves, asking other people to take pictures of them with other people. And so it's really been a point of pride in the community and something to celebrate.
But on Monday, the progressive pride flag on Santa Fe's plaza was, they say, spray painted with a white cross that reads, Jesus Saves.
I feel like the term Jesus Saves historically has been used in a more positive context, right? From especially Christian groups trying to convey something very positive about their religion. But more recently, at least, I think certain groups have utilized that, weaponized that statement in some ways. And doing something like that with the graffiti definitely weaponizes that.
A message of love is a message of hate. How does that affect people?
I was disheartened and saddened and upset. I think, primarily because we are just sort of rounding up this amazing month of opportunities for LGBTQ people to be in community and in safe spaces. And for that sort of the end of the month to bring this kind of attack it made me much more sad than I typically am at the end of a Pride Month.
Marshall Martinez is the executive director of Equality New Mexico. But is Jesus Saves really that hurtful?
Disappointment, clearly, but also a resignation that as the country moves forward and we achieve more inclusivity, there's a small group of homophobes and people who are scared of the future who do these ugly sort of things to strike back.
How so?
Intentionally placing Jesus Saves over a version of a pride flag is not intended to be loving or welcoming. It's intended to be discriminatory and hateful.
City Manager Blair said that the city was quick to clean up the paint, except, folks, it was chalk. All it took was a little water. The display is going to be up until the end of the month, but the city is planning on installing a permanent rainbow flag. Sports and weather coming up next. You're listening to Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
Volunteer with us and keep Alamogordo clean. Join the District 5 Neighborhood Cleanup Initiative. Want to help? Want to help? Fill out the waiver form by clicking the link in this social media post. Also, dump your junk. Saturday, July 15th from 7 a.m. to noon. Saturday, July 15th from 7 a.m. to noon. Start District 5's cleanup initiative by dumping trash, bulky, and unwanted items in the dumpster on the corner of 5th and Florida. Volunteer and let's keep Alamogordo clean.
They are role models and educators. Their work requires a great deal of time and energy for very little pay. Who are these unsung heroes?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
The simple truth about education-based athletics in New Mexico is this. Without a committed team of coaches and administrators, they just wouldn't be possible. School sports, they bring out the best in all of us. This message presented by the New Mexico Activities Association and the New Mexico Athletic Directors Association.
Rowdy and energetic fans, the very vocal ones during games, can escalate to uncomfortable confrontations, so a new NMAA rule can ban those unruly fans. B. David Ridspeth, a professor of sports business at Ohio University, spoke with KOAT.
There's physical threats, there's online bullying now. And then sadly you see things of even the parent-on-parent violence that you've seen over the years. I've seen that.
That's what the New Mexico Activities Association is trying to avoid with a new bylaw known as the two-strike rule. This potentially bans people from going to games for an entire season, including a rule for athletes and coaches. According to the NMAA, if there's a violation on the last game of the season, the penalty can roll over to the next season for the same sport. The National Weather Service has issued a heat advisory in effect until Friday night at midnight. Extreme heat will significantly increase the potential for heat-related illnesses, particularly for those working or participating in outdoor activities. Drink plenty of fluids, remain in air-conditioned rooms, stay out of the sun, and be sure to check up on relatives and neighbors. Also, young children and pets should never be left unattended in vehicles under any circumstances. Your Crazy Radio spot-on weather forecast for the Tularosa Basin today calls for mostly sunny skies. Mostly cloudy tonight with a 20% chance of showers and storms. Mostly sunny tomorrow. Your high today in the basin, 98. Low tonight of 74. High tomorrow, 96 degrees. In Cloudcroft, mostly sunny skies with a 20% chance of showers and storms. Winds gusting up to 18 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy tonight with a 20% chance of showers and storms. Partly sunny tomorrow with wind gusts as high as 25 miles per hour. Your high today in Cloudcroft, 75. Low tonight of 55. High tomorrow, 75 degrees. Local breaking news can be found on our website, alamogordotownnews.com, and learn more about Crazy Radio by visiting kalhradio.org. That concludes today's edition of Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.